Guys, welcome back to our ultimate fast API series, and the topic for today's videos is path configurations, or how to configure our path operations or the API routes, which not might seem to interest you, but when you go through it, how we make it, and when you see the final result, you love it. So we'll just dive into it. And along with this, in this video, I'm going to show how you can set up a big project, suppose, right? So I'll just do from FastAPI, import FastAPI. Yeah. Now I'm not going to create any route here. What I'll do is, suppose sorry, I have routes for users, right? So I'll create my routes in users file, which will come from FastAPI import API router. I'll create one router that will be API router, and it has got me so many tons of options. I'll use prefix. Suppose users. Now this prefix will be appended to all the API routes that I defined here. Now I'll use tags. Now tags, suppose I use users. Now you'll see what tags mean later on. Now what we can do is I'll define one route. Router.get as user ID. Now users will be automatically appended here. Now what I can do is async def get user. I'll take user ID, which is an int, and I'll just create one dict and user ID, and I'll just return it. Right. Now suppose I also have some routes related to items. So I'll create the same way as I created for users. I'll just copy it. I'll have it items here, items, and this is going to be item ID, and item ID. Yeah, and here as well. Now what we can do is, now these routes I've created as API router, but I haven't included them in our app so far. So now what I'll do is I'll create one router.py or maybe routes.py. Now this will handle all our routes together. So what I'll do is here also I'll import API router, and this will be API router, and suppose prefix I'll add v1. Suppose this is version 1 of our APIs. Now what I can do is from users I can import the router as users router. From items I import router as items router. Now this router contains all the API routes of user. This one contains of items. Now I need to include it in this router dot include router, users router, and router dot include router, items router. This is it. Now still this has not been added to our main app. So what I can do is I'll import my routes, import router. Now this is our main router which actually has all the routes. So I'll just include it, include router and router. Yeah. So I'll just try to run this out. Okay, we'll go to our Swagger. Yeah, now you can see the magic, how we have configured our APIs users. Now this is the tag that we defined here, this tag. If I change it to some maybe null, you see this is null. So this is the main use case of our tags, right? And it has got appended v1, it has got appended users, it has got appended v1 because v1 is globally appended in our routes here. And for items, you have appended items. So items. So this is how you can configure your paths or your routes. So that's it for this video. I hope you like it. Thank you.